My name is Mia, and I'm 28 years old. Last Thanksgiving was the first time I truly felt like a stranger in my own family. That day, I stepped into the house carrying the turkey I had prepared since early morning, my heart full of hope. But the atmosphere inside was strangely quiet. No laughter, no gentle scent of cinnamon, and no Christmas music playing like in years past. The warm yellow lights felt colder, casting long shadows across the floor that made the room feel heavier. My mother opened the door, nodded lightly, and walked inside without the usual warm hug. The hallway was lined with 4 brand-new matching suitcases, all packed and ready for the family trip. I stood awkwardly at the doorway, a heavy ache filling my chest, unsure if I should step in or turn away. I had worked tirelessly for 3 months, juggling 2 jobs, mornings at a student cafe and late nights at the library, just to save enough money to contribute. I sent my sister Sierra the full $3,000 as requested, hoping to be part of the family vacation. Then my father came out of the living room, his voice low and serious, signaling trouble. "Mia, we need to talk for a moment before dinner." I nodded, feeling my heart beat faster with every second. We gathered around the kitchen table, the dim light of a small candle flickering softly in the middle, as if trying desperately to soften the thick tension that hung over us. The silence was almost suffocating, broken only by the occasional scrape of a chair or the faint hum of the refrigerator. Everything felt heavier than usual, as if the very air held its breath, waiting for something no one wanted to say. Sierra was the first to break that silence, her voice calm and steady, yet icy cold beneath the surface. The kind of cold I had grown painfully familiar with over the years. She offered a small, almost mocking smile before she spoke. "We're running into some serious trouble with the cafe," she said, carefully choosing each word. "So, after talking it over, Mom, Dad, Mark and I have decided that you should stay behind this time." Her words landed on me like a punch. I stared back at her, feeling a strange mix of disbelief and hurt twisting inside me. Then my gaze shifted slowly to my parents and brother. Their eyes were distant, almost blank, like I was a ghost sitting among them. Not a daughter, not a sister, just an invisible presence. I felt my hands clench tightly under the table as I fought to steady my breathing. Taking a deep breath, I forced the words out, trying to sound calm, even though my heart was pounding wildly. "But what about the money I sent?" "I gave the full amount, exactly as requested." My mother's eyes met mine, cold and unyielding. "That money's already been spent," she said firmly. "The plans are set in stone. There's no changing them now." Each syllable was like a sharp blade, cutting deeper than any harsh word I had heard before. I swallowed hard and whispered, "So, I'm just a number on a balance sheet? Something that can be spent and discarded?" The room fell silent again, heavier than before. Only the soft clinking of plates and the steady sound of my own breathing filled the space. I sat there, feeling swallowed by a vast ocean of loneliness, weighed down by waves of rejection and confusion. In that silence, a question clawed its way through the fog of pain in my mind. How much have I sacrificed to be here? What am I really to them? Just a burden, a mistake, or something they regret? That moment was crushing. The reality of my place in the family felt more distant than ever, and yet I couldn't help but wonder if anyone else saw it too. Or if they were all as blind to my pain as I was. Old memories flooded back, vivid and painful. I remembered how Sierra was celebrated for winning that speech contest. Mom baked a special cake and even printed future senator shirts for her. Meanwhile, I received only quick, polite applause and was left standing in the shadows. Those moments stung deeply, a reminder of how differently we were seen. Sierra is 5 years older than me and taller by at least 5 inches. In my parents' eyes, she was their shining star, the one destined for greatness. I was always on the sidelines, quietly stepping back, unnoticed and overlooked. It was as if I was invisible to them, a background figure in a family portrait that only focused on her. I used to tell myself, they're just busy. My time will come. But years passed, and I remained that faint, blurred shadow lingering on the edges of their lives. The hope slowly dimmed, replaced by a heavy ache of loneliness. I still remember the evenings when Sierra would call on speakerphone in the kitchen. Dad's eyes would light up, his face glowing with pride as he listened to her talk animatedly about workshops, competitions, and career plans. Meanwhile, I sat nearby, silently moving my notebooks aside to make room for their laptop, slowly fading away from the dinner table without anyone noticing. There was only one person who truly saw me, my grandfather. He was the only family member who paid genuine attention and showed unconditional love. Our quiet nights together were a refuge. Watching old movies side by side, sharing ice cream spoonful by spoonful, the silence between us was comforting, filled with warmth that words could never capture. Those simple moments with him became my sanctuary amid the storm of neglect. When I was with him, I felt seen, valued, and loved, not as the forgotten daughter, but as Mia, the girl who mattered. Thanksgiving Day arrived, and I had spent the entire week preparing the turkey, carefully following my grandfather's old recipe. Every step was a tribute to him and to the hope that this meal would finally make me feel like part of the family I so desperately wanted to belong to. For me, the turkey was more than food. It was a symbol of acceptance, a silent plea for recognition. The dining room was softly lit with a warm, golden hue, the light casting gentle shadows that danced on the walls. The quiet strains of jazz music filled the air, steady and comforting, like the heartbeat of the holiday itself. On the surface, everything appeared peaceful, but beneath that calm lay an undercurrent of tension I couldn't ignore. As I approached the table, my hands trembling slightly, I carefully set the beautifully roasted turkey down in the center, proud of the effort and love I had poured into it. But before I could say a word, Sierra cast me a cold, disdainful glance. Her eyes narrowed, and with a voice laced in icy sarcasm, she said, "Mia, you're only good at cooking. Don't pretend you're anything more than that." Her words hit me like a slap, sharp and unexpected. The room fell silent as every pair of eyes turned toward me. Their gazes were heavy and unyielding, like a relentless autumn storm drenching the fading leaves. The weight of their judgment pressed down on my chest, making it hard to breathe. My fists clenched tightly at my sides as I struggled to steady my racing heart. Taking a deep, deliberate breath, I summoned every ounce of strength I had left. Slowly, I stood up, lifting the plate of turkey high like a banner of defiance. My voice rang clear and unwavering as I declared, "I refuse to be pushed aside any longer. I will prove that I am capable of so much more than you give me credit for." The room remained frozen in stunned silence. The jazz music seemed to stop mid-note, as if the world itself was holding its breath. Sierra's mouth hung open in disbelief. My father bowed his head, unable to meet my gaze. My mother bit her lip, her face taut with unspoken frustration. No one dared to speak. Without hesitation, I turned and walked out of the room, the echo of my footsteps loud in the sudden quiet. Not once did I look back, though the weight of their stares burned into my back. That night marked a turning point. The words I spoke were more than a declaration. They were a promise, to myself and to the world, that I would no longer settle for invisibility. I was ready to fight for my place, to show them who I really was. That night, in my small, dimly lit room, I sat alone with my thoughts swirling around me like a storm. The quiet darkness felt heavy, but it also gave me space to reflect. I thought about every moment I had been overlooked, every harsh word that lingered in my mind, and every dream I had quietly held on to. The dream of being seen, truly seen, and valued. I remembered my grandfather's voice, calm and wise, echoing through the years. His encouragement was a soft light in the darkness, reminding me of something important, that my worth wasn't tied to their recognition. A great person isn't always the one standing in the spotlight, he used to say. It's the one who patiently waits for their moment to shine. As I looked out the cracked window, the faint glow of a flickering street lamp cast long shadows across the floor. Those tiny specks of light felt like fragile hopes, promising that even in the darkest times, there was a chance for something better. The next morning, with resolve steady in my heart, I enrolled in a professional cooking course. I knew the path ahead wouldn't be easy. It would be full of challenges and setbacks. But I was ready. I wanted to carve out a space where I could grow and prove to myself that I was capable of more than anyone had believed. On my first day, the kitchen was alive with the rich scents of spices and sizzling food. The rhythmic clatter of knives against cutting boards echoed in the warm, cramped room. I felt nervous and out of place, unsure if I could keep up. Yet beneath the fear was a wellspring of hope, a quiet determination to succeed. There were moments when things didn't go well. I remember one afternoon when I burnt a batch of pastries, the dough refusing to rise no matter what I did. I sat alone in the kitchen afterward, tears mixing with the steam rising from the oven. That moment of failure felt crushing, as if I had swallowed my disappointment whole. But each time I faltered, I recalled my grandfather's words. Those words gave me strength to keep going, to push through the doubts and fears. They reminded me that success isn't about being perfect from the start. It's about persistence, patience, and believing that one day your moment will come. After months of relentless hard work and dedication, I finally took the leap to open a small cooking class in my own home. The very first session was humble. Only a handful of students showed up, but their eager eyes and genuine trust warmed my heart in ways I hadn't expected. Seeing their excitement and hunger to learn reminded me why I had started this journey in the first place. I began writing articles for a local culinary magazine, sharing recipes and stories about my experiences. I also took part in online cooking shows, gradually building a name for myself in the food community. Each small success was like a brick carefully laid to rebuild my confidence and sense of self-worth. With every new step forward, I grew stronger. The woman who once felt invisible was now carving out a space where her voice could be heard and her talents recognized. I learned to trust my instincts, to celebrate the little victories, and to keep pushing forward despite the doubts. Slowly, my family started reaching out. Calls and messages trickled in, showing signs they were willing to reconnect. One evening, my father called. His voice was hesitant, carrying the weight of unspoken regrets. "Mia," he said softly, "I've been hearing things about you." "Can we talk?" I answered with calm determination. "Dad, I'm walking my own path now. I don't need anyone's approval anymore." Sierra also reached out, her tone unsure and cautious. "I wanted to invite you to join a cooking show. What do you think?" I smiled quietly to myself, but replied with gentle firmness. "Thank you, but I'm busy building my own dreams right now." These moments didn't bring bitterness or anger. Instead, they marked my growth. I was no longer defined by their acceptance or rejection. I was in control of my own story, confident in who I was becoming. If you have ever felt abandoned or unseen within your own family, know that you are not alone. Many of us carry silent wounds from places that should have been safe and loving. The pain of feeling excluded, misunderstood, or overlooked is profound, but it does not define your worth or your future. Sometimes, stepping out of the shadows and away from those who dim your light is the bravest thing you can do. It's not a failure or a surrender. It is a powerful act of self-love and courage. Walking away from what no longer serves you creates space for growth, healing, and true happiness. You deserve to be loved, respected, and cherished, not just by others, but by yourself. Building a life where you are seen for who you truly are is a journey worth taking. It requires patience, strength, and the willingness to embrace your own story with compassion. If my story has touched your heart, I invite you to share your thoughts and feelings in the comments below. Your voice matters, and your experience can inspire others who might be struggling in silence. Together, we can create a community of support, understanding, and empowerment. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel to join me on this journey of self-discovery and resilience. Sharing this story can help spread the message that self-love and freedom are not just ideals, they are attainable realities. Remember, your light is precious. Never let anyone make you feel otherwise. Stand tall, love yourself fiercely, and know that brighter days are ahead. Thank you for listening, and thank you for being part of this journey.